Hi everyone! Welcome back to Pharmacy Tech Unfiltered, the space where we tell the truth about what it's really like to be a pharmacy tech and what it could look like when you finally decide to pivot. This episode is part of my June mini-series on career pivots, because I know so many of you are sitting with that question lately. Is this it for me? Like, you're sterile compounding in a clean room that's colder than your boss's attitude. You are in retail, your feet are on fire, but someone's yelling because their coupon expired in 2022. And you are thinking, I can't do this until retirement. But what else can I even do? Well, today, I want to open a door called biopharma. It might not be the word you're familiar with yet, but it's one that changed my life. So settle in, friend, and let me tell you a story. But first, I'll introduce myself. My name is Elena Rutka, and if we haven't met yet, I was a pharmacy technician for years. I started out in retail, moved into sterile compounding, and like many of you, I worked my butt off. Showed up early, stayed late, learned everything I could, and still I felt invisible. It wasn't until I left the traditional pharmacy setting and got my foot into biopharma that everything changed. More pay, more peace, more room to breathe. And now, I help other techs make the leap too, especially the ones who feel like their resume isn't perfect, or their background doesn't quite fit. So if you've been curious about what biopharma even is, how it works, what jobs exist, and whether you could land one, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. So, the story. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was halfway through a shift, gowned up in sterile compounding, holding a syringe in one hand and a checklist in the other. I looked at the IV bag, the label, the final checkbox, and thought, I could do this with my eyes closed. And that scared me. Not because I hated my job, I respected my job, but because I realized I wasn't growing anymore. I wasn't learning, I wasn't curious, I wasn't alive at work. So I started looking around, not in a loud I'm quitting kind of way, quietly. At job boards, at company websites. I wanted to know what else was out there. That's when I saw it. A biopharma company was hiring like crazy. They just landed a huge project and needed dozens of people, techs, operators, QA, cleanroom support. It wasn't just one job, it was a whole operation. And for the first time in a long time, I felt something spark. Because so much of what they needed, it looked like what I was already doing. I had my foot in the door as an operations technician. I was gowned up, hands-on, learning how biopharma actually worked from the inside. And later, I moved into a quality assurance role, where I wasn't just following SOPs, I was making sure they were followed everywhere. Same cleanroom mindset, same attention to detail, but now I had breathing room, I had purpose, and I had pay that didn't make me cry over groceries. So, what is biopharma anyway? Let me break it down. Biopharma is basically where medicine gets made, not dispensed, not counted, created. Instead of mixing IVs for patients, you are part of the process that grows medicine in tanks, like insulin, vaccines, antibodies, even gene therapies. Living cells are the magic makers here. Not powders, not pills, cells. Imagine this, a huge stainless steel tank. Inside, a warm bath full of nutrients. Cells floating, growing, producing proteins, that could save someone's life. You're not just helping one patient, you are helping thousands, maybe millions. Let's go on a little mental field trip. You walk into a biopharma site. It's not like CVS. It's not even like your hospital pharmacy. It's a cleanroom campus. There are gowning rooms, equipment humming, techs in bunny suits, documents everywhere. There are 4 major areas. The first one is called upstream. This is where cells are grown. Think of it like a baby nursery, but for medicine. You're feeding cells, adjusting pH, controlling temps. If you have worked in sterile compounding, this feels like home. Same gowning, same clean handling. Just instead of making one IV, you are helping grow a batch of medicine that goes into tens of thousands of vials. Another area is called downstream. Okay, your cells did their thing. Now it's time to purify the product. Imagine spinning stuff down in a centrifuge, running it through filters. It's cleanup duty, but instead of sweeping floors, you are separating proteins from impurities. The goal? To make sure the final product is pure, potent, and clean. They also have support functions. This is a great entry point for both sterile and retail techs. This is how I actually started. You are responsible for prepping materials, wiping things down, transferring supplies, making sure nothing from the outside world contaminates the cleanroom. But here's something you might not expect. You may also be cleaning the cleanroom itself, not mopping up messes, not wiping spilled antibiotics. You're cleaning the clean with validated ingredients like IPA, which stands for isopropyl alcohol, and special disinfectants. It's precise, it's gowned, and it feels more like part of a surgical team than a janitorial crew. You are fully suited up, wiping down stainless steel with strict motions, horizontal, vertical, never circular. It's not go clean that, it's follow this SOP line by line. And if you've ever been the one fixing someone's sloppy logs or watching expiration dates like a hawk, you already have the mindset this job needs. The next area is quality assurance. Now, this is where I landed after a while. You're not touching product. You're making sure everyone else did their part correctly. Reviewing batch records, catching errors, making sure gowning logs are filled. If you're the tech everyone trusts to double-check math or spot typos, you'd thrive here. Now let's talk schedule. A lot of these roles follow something called 2-2-3 schedule. Here how it works. Week 1, you work Monday and Tuesday, off Wednesday and Thursday, and work Friday through Sunday. Week 2, you're off Monday and Tuesday, work Wednesday and Thursday, and then off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's like a rhythm. 2 on, 2 off, 3 on, then flipped. Perks? 1 week, you're working just 2 days. Yes, 2. That means time to rest, time to breathe, time to actually see the sun during the week. Some techs pick up a side hustle. Others just enjoy their new life. Finally not glued to a pharmacy counter 6 days straight. Downside? The days are longer, usually 12-hour shifts. So yeah, you'll feel it in your bones. But you'll also get built-in recovery time. It's not for everyone, but if you're burned out from chasing your tail 5 to 6 days a week in retail or hospital, it might be the break your nervous system needs. Now, let's talk about real biopharma companies hiring right now. Let's make it real. Here are just a few big name biopharma companies hiring across the US: Pfizer, Moderna, Grifols, Amgen, Fujifilm, Catalent, Novo Nordisk, and also tons of smaller companies and contract manufacturers that make products for big brands. These are gold mines for pharmacy techs who want to get in early and grow. I'm going to share how I looked for jobs in my area when I started looking for positions in biopharma. I'm not saying this is the only life hack that you guys can use. You can definitely use your own methods of looking for a job. I'm pretty sure there are now automated ways of looking and applying. I'm just showing what helped me. This method can be definitely adopted for looking for a job at a different industry. So it's not only applicable to biopharma, but any industry, basically. So what I did at the beginning when I started looking for jobs in biopharma, I wanted a list of the companies that are hiring around me. I live in North Carolina. This is a huge biopharma and pharma hub. We have many companies from the biopharmaceutical, pharmaceutical, and clinical research industries. I know it may be different in your states. The tools and tips that I'm giving you may be helpful in your job search, even in other industries, whether it's hospital or patient care or something else. You can still use those couple simple steps. And the first one is to come up with the list of companies you are most interested in that are currently hiring. So what I did, I typed in biopharm company hiring me, and it gave me the list of all the places in driving distance. I would definitely check the company before I decide to apply. It is very important for me to look at what current and former employees say about the company. That's why I always read reviews on Glassdoor, on Indeed, just to get an understanding what the company's culture is. You can also get some idea about the pay if it's not openly advertised in the job ad. I'm looking at these reviews and the stars. Like, this is just one review. I would not rely on it so much. I would like to check what the Glassdoor and Indeed says about this particular one. I would definitely start with the ones that are well known. So the one from the list that I know is this one. I would go to the company's website and check for open jobs. I always go to the career section. I never apply through Indeed. Even though companies advertise on Indeed, on LinkedIn, I always go to the main source, to their career page, and apply from there. Let's look at the open positions, what they currently have. Pick the location and type in manufacturing. And it gave me a list of some jobs. This one looks interesting. This is a pretty new position, posted 7 days ago. Many of those manufacturing positions work on a 2-3 schedule because the facility operates on a 24-hour basis. It's nonstop production. They have both day and night shifts. The schedule for specifically manufacturing is usually 2-3. When you move into more of a corporate role, like quality assurance or something that's not directly hands-on, not related to manufacturing, you may land a job Monday, Friday, 9 to 5 or 8 to 4. But anything related to manufacturing, it's usually a shift job. This specific position is responsible for performing upstream processing. You've already learned that upstream is for growing cells, right? A person in this position will be responsible for making sure cells are growing, multiplying, they have enough food. Yes, you have to feed your cells. They are in the appropriate temperature, they have the correct pH, they are growing nicely and steadily. Here's a little bit more about the duties and responsibilities of this position. They work with incubators, biosafety cabinets, bioreactors, cell counters, and different type of equipments that you have may not heard about. But again, what I do when I see something odd or something I have not come across on a job ad, I always Google it. I learn some basic information. Most of the time, what I realized when I applied for all those different positions and had almost 100 interviews, and this is especially true for biopharma, hiring managers are looking for people with the right attitude, because biopharma is a highly strictly regulated industry. They do not expect people to know everything, every single detail about regulations and standards. They will teach you, they will train you on the job, and the training won't be like sink or swim. It's a real deal training where everything is documented and you have signed off on every single step of the process and are not allowed to do anything in the clean room until you are fully qualified and signed off by a certified trainer. But what they're looking for is the people with the right attitude. And what I mean by the right attitude is that you are open to learn new things. You are open to feedback and constructive criticism. Although you have worked in the clean room environment in your hospital, you will be surprised how strict biopharma is. It may look like the same clean room, but things that were allowed in your previous job at the hospital will never be allowed in the biopharma. And this is because it's regulated by FDA. And if there is something wrong in the process, they are, legally responsible for safety and well-being of patients. Nobody wants to get fined. Be mindful that you will be corrected. Your aseptic technique, however perfect and wonderful it was in your hospital, you will have to adjust and learn new things. Some things may look different. You will have to follow different protocols, different SOPs. This mindset of being open and willing to learn quickly is very important. If you can show it during your interview, that would give you some points ahead of other applicants who are so self-confident that they know everything because they worked in the clean room before. As I said, I spent years in compounding in hospital. There were days when the door into the clean room was not closing completely, and there was an air passage from a lower grade into the higher grade. And we were still operating, compounding, making IV medications for patients. The decision of the manager, what you can do, you can just follow. But as I said, that would not be allowed in biopharma. Just get yourself ready for that. Okay, now let's look at the job responsibilities. You will be performing operations in a clean room environment, ensuring aseptic technique, aseptic processing. Some words may already sound familiar to you here. You will be following GDP, good documentation practices. If you are not familiar with this, Google this. FDA provides a lot of free resources on their website that can help you learn about good documentation practices, good manufacturing practices. Those are the strict standards and regulations that all biopharma and pharma companies follow. So you can see execute the records, perform maintenance of equipment, complete tasks according to current good manufacturing practices. And that's basically it. So now let's look at some manufacturing associate salary. This company is based in North Carolina and is offering between 24 to 31.25 per hour. And the company is also offering benefits package, and that includes annual bonuses, medical, dental, and vision coverage, paid time off, holidays, 401k matching, and employee recognition programs. It may not be like doubling your current salary, but this is a good stepping stone, a step in the right direction. In many companies, you can move into different roles, you can get promoted, you can get on a level higher after a year, or in some companies, even less than a year, you can start applying for other positions from within the company. It's very fluid. Nobody's going to be, keeping you on the same position forever. If you show the willingness to learn, if you grow in your current job, if you follow all those strict rules and regulations, and you have a good attendance record, you have good annual review, you're a good team player, you can get promoted really quickly. After just 9 months on the job as an operations technician, I got a QA position, and that's how my quality assurance career started. It took me less than a year to move from a pharmacy tech into quality assurance role. I was willing to take this first step, which let me gain the essential knowledge and equip myself for better paying positions later on. So, what if this is your next sign? Here is what I want you to do. Google these roles: aseptic operator, manufacturing technician, biopharma, batch record reviewer. Read the duties, not the degrees. See how many bullet points you already do every shift. Fix your resume. Don't just list tasks. Show how you followed SOPs, managed accuracy, supported sterile prep, and handled inventory. And if you are ready to keep growing, subscribe to this channel. Follow me for more behind-the-scenes tips and pharmacy tech career pivots. Join my Facebook group Pharmacy Tech Unfiltered for real talk, job leads, and resume glow-ups. And don't forget to check out the latest on my Facebook and Instagram pages. I'm always dropping new gems for pharmacy techs who want more. Because you are not stuck, you are just standing at the edge of your next chapter. I know it's scary to imagine something new, to say maybe I want out of the pharmacy, to admit you want more. But I'll say what I wish someone had told me. You are not behind. You are not too old. You are not just a tech. You are early to something better. Biopharma changed my life, and it's changing the lives of techs every day. And it might just be your next beginning. I'm rooting for you, always. This is Elena Rutka from Pharmacy Tech Unfiltered. Stay curious, stay brave, and stay open to the pivot.